right, guys, my boat's a wreck. I'm getting it all ready, cleaned out today, working on some things. Today we're gonna go pick up my fish from Toledo Bend. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's from this video right here, when I caught that 10-pounder. If you haven't seen that, go watch that, and then watch the sequel to it where I catch another 10-pounder on the same bait. I'm sure most of y'all guys have seen it, but if not, go watch it. So yeah, oh, it was a wreck yesterday on the water. I mean, I was trying out a whole bunch of stuff. Look, I mean, it's a wreck. I'm still messing with stuff. That's what I'm doing. We're about to go pick up the fish and the mount. I get a free mount, right? That's what we're gonna go do. They're having a big party or something, at least lunch, I don't know. I'm driving to Toledo Bend with the family. We're gonna make a quick stop there, come back, and then I don't know what we're gonna go do. But yeah, so let's see what this fish looks like. This is gonna be my third one. One of them my mom has at her house. I think the 1260. That one was caught a long time ago. Actually though, well, here's a crazy story about that. That fish was caught about 100 yards from where I caught this one. Just so happened a couple months away. That one too, another funny story about that one. When I caught that one, I didn't really pay attention to it. I was practicing for at the time, a Toyota event, which I think I came in 5th, I believe I came in 5th in that event. But while I was practicing, I was catching a whole bunch of fish, you know, shaking a bunch of fish off, and I tried out a new bait, ended up catching that fish. That's why I still had the hooks on it, because it was my first fish I caught on that bait. Well, anyways, I got it, and I put it in the live well. Just, I don't know, I knew it was big, but I really wasn't. It was a weird looking fish. It wasn't very long. So, you know, I was gonna like, oh, someone's around practicing, I'll ask them if they have a scale. Normally I don't care. I've caught plenty of fish over 10. I don't know. I just did for whatever reason. Well, anyways, I ended up finding a buddy of mine. He's like, hey, I don't have a scale or nothing. I'm like, well, what do you think I should do? You know, I'm about to let it go. And I picked it up and showed it to him. And he was like, hey, dude, that thing's well over 10 pounds. I was like, you think? He's like, absolutely. And I had forgot about the program because I was kind of new to it. He was like, dude, go turn that thing in. You'll get a free replica. I'm like, oh, okay. So I practiced for like 10 more minutes, and I was like, man, I don't like having fish in my live well. So I left. And so on my way, so I went, load the boat up, and right before I took off, I wanted to make sure my live wells were working, it was holding water and everything. And I looked at the fish one more time because I never really looked at it. I got it and put it right in the live well. I was like, there's a tag on it. I was like, man, that's interesting. So that tag, I called up Todd Driscoll of Texas Parks and Wildlife, and I was like, hey, there's this tag on this fish. I didn't know if they were, you know, tagging it for something, you know, the Texas Parks and Wildlife. And he was like, no, it might be for that program. I was like, you're telling me I just caught another fish that's already been entered in this program? It's got a tag on it? I'm like, no way. Well, anyways, I went down there, took a picture of it. They weighed it, it went 12.6. They looked at the tag, it was caught. Get this is the crazy part. Steven Johnston, who was also in the tournament, who also made the top 10 in that same tournament, caught the fish. I've known Steven for years, still know him to this day. Me and him are good friends. He caught that fish a year ago, almost to the date, and it was a 10.6. And so it literally grew 2 pounds in 1 year. When they released it up there by the bridge. He caught his at least 25 miles away from the bridge. I caught it probably 20 miles away from the bridge in the opposite direction. So I don't know what to tell y'all, because there's always been this myths or rumors that you catch a fish and it swims back to the same spot. Well, that one was caught, released, and then swam the opposite direction 20 more miles. So I don't know what to tell y'all. That myth, maybe it'll eventually go back, but it didn't seem to go back within a year. Now we're leaving to go get that. Let's check out how good of a mount they already did on this fish, on the fish I had caught earlier. Now I don't have that 12-pounder. It's not in my house, but I do have this 11-pounder. That's the mount they did on it. It's kind of dusty, but that's the 11-pound mount they did. I'll tell you that story real quick too. All right, real quick on this story. I had like a buddy of mine who kind of was a sponsor, or we were trying to work together to get this thing going on with this sponsor deal, right? And it was this big program. It was going to be a big deal. It still should be a big deal, but it's just never really worked out. Well, anyways, he had his like big time giant boss there, and we all went fishing, and they wanted to go to Toledo Bend and fish. And it was right in the middle of the springtime. Well, I usually don't like normal fish. I like to sight fish. So anyways, he wanted to do this. We went and messed around through jerkbaits, didn't catch anything. I said, guys, man, you might have some fun if we go sight fish. He agreed, so we went to part of the lake, and we went in the back of this pocket. And I put the trolling motor down, and I started looking around, and within like 5 minutes, I look way on up there, and I see this fish, okay? I was like, that's a big one. And it was right up there, shallow, stupid, just sitting there. So I was like, all right, cool. So I spun the boat around, but I never really got close enough to see it. It was really far away, like a long cast. And we threw to it, and I just didn't think about it. As I was throwing to it, and it like rolled down to it and looked at it, I'm like, oh, it's gonna bite. So I had him cast. Well, he couldn't cast up there. We spent like 30 minutes on this fish. And I was going, you know, I was trying and trying. I was telling him what to do, and he just couldn't make the right cast. And he wasn't listening, whatever, you know. And long story short, he kind of got frustrated and got mad and was like, hey, man, yeah, you catch it. I'm like, no, it's all right, man. You know, just keep going on. And he was like, kind of being whatever. And he was like, no, you catch it. And I was like, no, man, I can catch it. It's all right. He was like, I don't think you can. I was like, well, don't tip me with a good time, you know? I was like, you know, whatever. Well, my buddy looked at me, you know, who worked for him and everything, and he looked at me and was like shaking his head like, don't do it. And he kind of came back. He was like, no, I don't think you can catch it. I want to see you catch it. And I was like, all right. So I fired up on there first cast, and she comes over there and, you know, bites. And so I reeled down to it, and I'm like, it had it, and it was swimming off. I'm like, you sure you want me to catch it? He's like, yeah. So I set the hook, and I'm bringing this fish in. We had the net out and everything, and because we were going to net it for him. And as I'm bringing it in, he goes to the front, my buddy does, and they're both at the front of the boat, and I just kind of lift up on it like this, and he reaches down there and nets this fish. And when he doesn't even bring it hardly halfway out of the water, and he just looks back at me. This is my buddy. Looks back at me with this look, man. I'll never forget this look, like you, I can't, you know, like, one of them like looks of like disgust. I thought it was funny. Anyways, we get it in, and I'm like, oh, that's a pretty big one. So we weighed it, and it went over 10, and I was like, oh, ooh, you know. So I was like, oh man, I can get a replica. So I put it in the live well, and he's, you know, whatever, goes on. I was like, you want to keep looking for another one? He's like, yeah. I don't go like 3 minutes down the bank, I find another one. It's like a 8-pounder. Same deal. He gets frustrated and tells me I can't catch it. I end up catching that one. I catch that one and release it. And he's like, all right, I'm done. So he left. I went and turned the fish in, but it ended up being 11.33. Got a free replica out of it. So yeah, apparently don't tempt me with a good time, because I'll take you up on the offer. So anyways, that's the story of the 11.33, but now I got this other one to go with it. So anyways, thought y'all liked that.
Castle line. Todd's another one of those exceptional storm fishermen. He fishes, he fish BASS and all the big circuits. Yeah. Thank you, Todd. Carson McIntyre.
All right, so that's the fish I caught with my kids and everything. And then after we all got our fish, we're all lined up for a picture. I'm way in the back. And that's all of us that caught a fish over 10 pounds this year on Toledo Bend. Some of them have 2 fish, but yeah, a really cool event. Like I said, this was all afterwards. We're all just kind of hanging out, taking pictures, doing all this stuff. Then we ended up talking to a whole bunch of people. We knew a lot of people there. And then I met some people there. I met some kids right here. I guess they watched my YouTube. Here they are. So I'm about to get a picture with them.
Here, watch out, boys. Here, y'all come over here.
So I got a picture with them. It was a really good time. We just got home, and let's see. This is it. Not bad. Free replica. Guys, this is the best program there is. It really is. Catch a fish over 10 pounds at Toledo Bend. Go turn it in. You have to release it. It has to be alive when you release it, or you don't get the replica. They had, what was it, 57? They gave away 57 over 10 pounds. So yeah, they gave away 57 replicas. Pretty cool. There was like, I think 5 teenagers in there, or 5 kids in high school who caught one over 10. There was a guy who caught the lake record, a 15 pounder this year. And so I think this was the 3rd largest year of giving away 10 pounders. So pretty cool. So yeah, now I'm gonna go hang this on the wall next to the other one. And yeah, hopefully do this again next year. But yeah, this is what it's about, guys. I mean, catching them down here, getting replicas, releasing them. They go back in the lake. I think another guy had caught one. I think 2 guys caught the same fish, I believe, this year. And of course, I told y'all the story about me catching the one that Steven Johnston caught. So yeah, pretty cool deal. All right, it's hot out here. Time to get in. All right, see y'all, guys.